Just the fastest way to articulate a 2-minute speech. Now, we train multiple people from all over the world improve their communication. And one of the things we focus on is teaching them frameworks that they can utilize to nail a short speech without being prepared for it. And this is easier said than done, because when you think of a short amount of time, it means we have lesser room for error. So let's understand how we can do this effectively. In this video, we're going to get into 2 guidelines you must follow to articulate any short speech, a framework to strengthen your articulation along with relevant examples, and how to practice this for predictable results. By the way, if you're new here, hi, my name is Pradeep from Frantically Speaking. We release communications content regularly, so if that's your thing, hit subscribe. And if you want to take your communications learning to the next level, you can click the link in the description to check out our courses and see if we can work together. Let's get into it. Now, the first guideline you want to keep in mind is to just stick to one idea. One of the biggest mistakes that we make when it comes to delivering a short speech is our mind gets muddled up with so much information that eventually our communication comes across in a scattered manner. And that happens because we have a lot to say and we're confused about what to put in first, which makes us blank out. Or in some cases, we just blank out directly. So it's much easier to direct our minds to just one idea and then expand the rest from there itself. And the framework will show you how to do that. But the second guideline to keep in mind will reduce your chances of blanking out. Most of the time when we speak up, we're speaking in terms of information. We're trying to create and find the right words so that we can just say something of relevance. But instead, our minds are much better at remembering stories. And by stories, I don't mean any movie that you might have seen, but personal experiences. The more you can draw from your personal experiences or experiences of other people who are close to you, the easier it'll be for your mind to organize itself and then speak in an articulate manner. And those are the 2 guidelines you need to follow. Stick to one idea and rely more on personal experiences as opposed to spitting information. And the better you get at this, eventually you'll be able to combine both and just speak however relevantly you want. And the framework you can use in any 2-minute speech is something known as RULE. RULE stands for relate, unveil, learn, and encourage. So let's say you're made to speak on a topic which is how to speak up in a meeting without feeling nervous. Here's how you can use the RULE framework. So we start by stating a relatable statement or an opinion or a question, which can sound like this. Do you know that feeling when a great point pops in your head during a meeting, but instead of speaking up, you hesitate? And by the time you master the courage, someone else has already said it. It used to happen to me all the time. Then you move to unveiling a key insight or a solution. Here's what it sounds like. The real problem isn't just nerves, it's that we overanalyze what we're about to say. We wait for the perfect moment of phrase, but in a fast-moving discussion, that moment never comes. What helped me was using a simple technique. Commit to speaking within the first 10 minutes of any meeting. Even if it's just to agree with someone or ask a small question, it breaks the ice and makes it easier to contribute later. Then comes learn, where we want to then share a relevant example to support our point. I tried this approach in my team's sprint planning. At the start, I made a small comment about the backlog order, nothing groundbreaking, but since I'd already spoken once, I felt way more comfortable jumping in later when a key decision was being made. I realized my hesitation wasn't about not knowing what to say, but about breaking that initial silence. And finally, we need to encourage, which simply means to end with a call to action or a takeaway. So here's my challenge for you. Next time you're in a meeting, say something early, even if it's just to ask something as simple as, can you clarify that? The more you do it, the easier it gets. And who knows, your one small comment might lead to your best idea being heard. And that's how you can use the RULE framework to articulate a 2-minute speech, even if you're put on the spot. Now, of course, this is easier said than done because you need to practice this properly. That's why ChatGPT can come into the picture. And no, we're not going to type. Instead, we're going to use the speaking audio feature in ChatGPT. Simply go click on it and ask it. First, you can type and just ask ChatGPT to give you a list of topics to help you practice for 2-minute speeches which are relevant to your industry. After it gives you a list, pick any one which is most relevant to you and start speaking on it, trying to apply the RULE framework. Before you do that though, tell ChatGPT, I'm trying to practice this particular framework. RULE, relevant, unveil, learn, and encourage. I would like you to give me feedback on how well I've utilized this framework. You then want to click that little icon which looks like a mic and start speaking. After you're done, you'll get feedback on this and you keep repeating the process until you're comfortable using this framework within an actual meeting itself. And keep in mind, RULE is just one particular framework. There are tons of other frameworks you can utilize to speak in an articulate manner. And the thing is, you might be making certain articulation mistakes without even realizing it. And to understand what they are and to avoid them, I highly recommend you check out this video where we've compiled all the common articulation mistakes you might be making and how to get rid of them. Check out the entire video right here.